The Willie Lynch letter.
One switch, then it all went sour. Clouds as high as the empires. Clouds, yeah.
The first Africans in America arrived through Jamestown, Virginia in 1619 as indentured labor or servants. From about 1619 to 1640, the laws throughout the Europe and the Americas removed all human individualities from abducted Africans and named them properties.
Some call it COVID-19. Some things ain't what it seems. Asking God, wake me up from the dream. Is this ish really like it seems? Will a rich be poor? Will a poor be rich? Cause we like it like this. Yeah, they feeling this ish.
The U.S. Supreme Court and Chief Justice like Roger B. Taney ensured that the law did not protect slaves, but involved the white oppressors who physically, mentally, and psychologically abused them for full supremacy.
One switch, then it all went sour. Clouds as high as the empires. Clouds, yeah, filled with the virus. Some call it
Quote,
COVID-19.
no Negro, whether slave or free, could ever be considered a citizen of the United States, unquote, the judge wrote. In 1640, Maryland became the first colony to institutionalize slavery in America. In 1641, Massachusetts, in its written legislation titled Body of Liberties, stated that bondage was legal servitude. At that moment, changing the status of African hostages to automatically cattle slaves that could be bought and sold at the discretion of white owners.
Asking God, wake me up from the dream. Is this ish really like it seems?
Gentlemen, I greet you here on the bank of James River in year of our Lord 1712. First, I shall thank you, gentlemen of the colony of Virginia, for bringing me here. I'm here to help you solve some of your problems with slaves. Your invitation reached me on my mother's plantation in the West Indies, where I have experimented with some of the newest and still oldest methods for control of slaves. Ancient Rome would envy us if my program is implemented. As our boat sailed south on the James River, named after our king, whose version of the Bible we cherish, I saw enough to know that your problem is not unique. While Rome used cords of wood as crosses for standing human bodies along its highway in great numbers, you here are using the tree and rope on occasions. I caught a whiff of a dead slave hanging from a tree a couple miles back. You're not only losing valuable stock by hangings, you're having uprisings. Slaves are running away. Your crops sometimes are left in fields too long for maximum profit. You suffer occasional fires. Your animals are killed. Gentlemen, you know what your problems are. I do not need to elaborate. I'm here to emerge your problems. I am here to introduce you to the method of solving them. In my bag here, I have a foolproof method for controlling your black slaves. I guarantee every one of you, if installed correctly, it will control the slaves for at least 300 years. My method is simple. As any member of your family or your overseers can use it. I have outlined a number of differences among the slaves. I take these differences and make them bigger. I use fear, distrust, and envy for control purposes. These methods have worked on my modest plantation in the Windies, and it will work throughout the South.
Clouds as high as the empires. Clouds, yeah, filled with the virus. Some call it COVID-19. Some things ain't what it seems. Asking God, wake me up from the dream. Is this ish really like it seems? Will the rich be poor? Will the poor be rich? Cause we like it like this. Yeah, they feeling this ish. They can't shop and ish. Feeling broke-ish. Feeling hopeless. They can't focus. We was built for this. We done been through this ish. Do the math with this ish. With the years and this ish. Yeah, I'm just saying I ain't playing with it. Was on the bottom, now we about to get it done. They tryna kill us with coronavirus. One switch, then it all went sour. Clouds as high as the empires. Clouds, yeah, filled with the virus. Some call it COVID-19. Some things ain't what it seems. Asking God, wake me up from this dream. Is this ish really like it seems?
Take these steps, list of differences, and think about them. On top of my list is age, but it's there only because it starts with an A. The second is color or shade. There is intelligence, size, sex, status on plantation, attitude towards owner, whether the slave lives in the valley, on the hill, east, west, north, south, has fine hair, coarse hair, or is tall or short. Now that you have a list of differences, I shall give you an outline of action, but before that, I shall assure you that distrust is stronger than trust, and envy is stronger than adulteration, respect, or admiration. The black slave, after receiving this introduction, shall carry on and will be self-refueling and self-generating for hundreds of years, maybe even thousands. Don't forget, you must pitch the old black male versus the young black male, and the young black male versus the old black male. You must use the dark-skinned slaves versus the light-skinned slaves, and the light-skinned slaves versus the dark-skinned slaves. You must also have your white servants and overseers distrust all blacks, but it is necessary that your slaves trust and depend on us. They must love, respect, and trust only us. Gentlemen, these kits are your keys to control. Use them. Have your wives use them and children use them. Never miss an opportunity. If used intensely for 1 year, the slave themselves will remain distrustful. Thank you, gentlemen.